It's your girl, Miss Red, with the Miss Red Podcast Show. Ding! I know it's been a minute, but we're here for episode 4. Now, let me explain what's going on right now with these extra chairs. Because, I mean, normally we set chairs up based on what's happening. Well, the episode that we had scheduled for the other day, I had 2 lovely young guests. We're going to be talking about a great topic. I'll save it, the title, for when they come back. They had to reschedule. Things happen. One got sick and everything else. So we just kept the set beautifully set up so when they come back. So we have our lovely chairs for, we had them set up for 3 of us having a conversation. And that's why you see 3 chairs. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and pivot back to still on episode 4, but instead you get just me to talk. Okay, so let's get into it. I hope you guys have missed us. Okay, because we don't plan on having any more of those types of lengthy non-showings. Okay, that's not happening anymore. But we want to bring you guys the best content that we can. Because if you notice, every single time we have a show, we have a different set. We try to give you guys elegance and quality content and quality guests. So the Miss Red Podcast Show is never going to just throw out anything. We want to make sure we have quality content and quality everything. So if you do decide that you would love to be on the show, this is what you'll experience. And if you want to be on the show, you know where to contact me. theredpodcast@gmail.com. All right, let's get into our topic for today. Now, the topic that is all over social media, okay? Now, I feel like there's a couple things I want to talk about. But the one thing that I feel, if I'm going to say this title, and you probably can go ahead and guess who I'm talking about. So let me say the title. Being a baby mama at your big age, full grown, professional age, baby mama. Now, at first I had a name behind it. But I said, let me take off the name and see if people can guess. So being a baby mama at your big age, at your full-grown big age. Meaning not teenage mama. We passed all that. Meaning women who are professional, they probably got a career, they didn't have a bunch of kids when they were young. They actually having their first kid at 40, meaning they probably planned it for whatever reason, no more of that. I don't want to be stereotypical, but they had their child and they knew what they were doing. All right, so now I'm going to say a name and then I'm going to pause for like 2 seconds. Everyone should go, Cam Newton. Okay. On his show a couple of weeks ago, when he was on there with, his name has left my brain, a comedian. I don't know why his name left my brain. It'll come to me. They were having a conversation about relationships. And Cam Newton's extremely famous. He's a handsome guy, NFL player, quarterback, whatever he is, but he's successful in his own right. You can't take that away from him. He is the GOAT in that. I don't really watch football, but if you do watch it, don't watch it, you know who that is. That's like saying Deion Sanders. You just know. But he has a certain take on relationships and family and kids that is a unique take that most people will go, really? And there's a reason why that people would feel that way coming from him. And I want to see if you guys agree or disagree, right? Okay, so now let's talk about Cam's statement. There's 2 interviews that he said a couple of controversial statements. But the one statement I'm going to say is that he, with the comedian, he said he has a current relationship with his current mother of his youngest child. He has 8 children, I believe, with 3 baby mothers. And I think 2 of those kids he like adopted from previous, like his girlfriends had kids and he adopted them, which is admirable. That's admirable. So he claims them as his kids. So that's admirable, by 3 women. The most recent one is Jasmine Jazzy. She's a comedian that went around and did she's a pretty popular comedian. I mean, of all of them, the baby mamas, I would say she's the one that's most known in public, you know, because she goes around, does these comedy shows. She has a show on BET where she plays the side chick. Ironic. It's actually pretty funny. I did see it. And, you know, he made a comment that Corey Holcomb, that's who it is, Corey Holcomb.
I created Funky Friday to have people live in their truth.
But you have to be responsible for having me on your show, because having me on your show comes with controversy. Where even though I am a stand-up comedian primarily, I'm also a preacher. I do things to give people the light without the Bible in my hand. Because I didn't read the Bible all the way through, but I did listen to it on audio.
But I'm a call cap on something real quick. You buy Gucci?
No, Gucci got an outlet store. I'm not paying top dollar for it. I just don't believe Stephen A. Smith is gonna say nothing in reality. He has to say what will make his boss happy.
Who has more influence, T.I. or Kim Kardashian?
T.I. was a platinum rapper. This bitch bust down for the game. That's all she did.
When you look at the BBL epidemic.
Because I know that's mental illness, to let somebody crack your ass open, put some Air Jordan shit up in there, and sew it back up.
Is there ever a situation where a female leads?
Never. Never. How the female gonna lead?
That's a form of sexism.
Oh, I don't know nothing about that.
Do you see how that comes off as...
No. Kim, you said you got 8 kids?
Yes, sir.
You don't make broken homes. Women make broken homes. Ain't no such thing as a man creating a broken home.
Will Smith and Jada, they've been open about they have an open relationship.
But Will like guys.
Huh? You can't just say that because that's slant. You're talking to a person.
I've paid for it.
We don't play like that. Sean Diddy Combs, Hugh Hefner. What's the difference here?
One black, one white. They're not gonna let you leave with the money. The people who are really in charge of the music industry killed our best artists. Michael Jackson was murdered. Prince was murdered. Whitney Houston was murdered. This is what I believe. I don't care how in awe I am of you right now. You are not finna tell me you up here for one person.
You're trying to deflect back to me.
No, I would never do you like that. You saying it ain't no other woman but the one woman?
Yes.
When somebody say Dr. Bryant, it irks me. Where is she a doctor at? Because I've done the research.
Asked him about, since they had a baby, which is very young, baby's like maybe not even 4 months old. Corey asked him, has your girlfriend Jazzy been the only part? There's no way you could only have been with her since I've been together. Like, I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking like this. Why is that not possible if you're in a relationship? Why is it not possible why was Corey making it seem like it was impossible for Cam Newton to not be, and then Cam goes, well, what do you mean by that? And he goes, well, what do you mean? What do I mean by that? So then he asked him, have you been with it? You know, have you been faithful? And then, you know, he kind of looks, and then he goes, well, what time frame? Since you've been with the lady. And then he says, no, I have not. I've been with other people since I've been with my current partner. Now, the backlash from that, and the other guy, Corey Holcomb, was like, well, I'm not shocked by that. I'm not surprised by that. And the backlash came, the comments came from the next day. People started to chime in, calling her a pick-me, not intelligent, not smart. You know, she got embarrassed. You look ridiculous. And you know, she's very opinionated. But she was more opinionated before she started dating Cam Newton. Is Cam Newton a high-value man? I mean, is that a catch worth hanging on to and taking certain things you wouldn't take from another man? Because she's also been known to say, well, you know, I've taken it up the wahoo. I don't like it, but it's Cam Newton, so I have to. Almost anything to please him by any means necessary, because it's Cam Newton. And he knows that women want to be with him because he's Cam Newton. Because look at the pros and the cons of being with Cam Newton. He knows he is he knows he's rich, he's handsome, he's a great provider, he has great DNA, meaning your children could probably be athletically, have athletic genetics, especially your boys. And these women that he's having the kids with are not, they're beautiful women, I'm sure, but they're not drop dead stunners, first of all, and they're not their own women financially in his level, like a Beyonce or a Rihanna. Go get somebody like that, and then you'd be like, it would be like, oh, okay. But to go get someone who is financially beneath you, knowing that, you are the leader financially, you have more strings and more powers. And she is Jazzy. Her response was, I know my man, I know what he's doing, and he can talk to me about everything, and it's okay.
So if y'all don't know, I'm the third one, and this is his sixth child. Someone said, ooh. Right, couldn't have been me. All right, till a rich nigga put that pressure on you. Keep it real. I could never be with nobody. Okay. Until $100 million nigga start putting the pressure on you, you don't know what the fuck you'll do. Talking about what you'll never be. Bitch, you ain't never had. Oh, you better than me, I am. What the hell? And I'm reading this shit. It's so funny because he was clapping back at a couple of people. In the comments too, which was great. I was like, yeah, man, get him. Can't nobody read your font, but get him,
man. Ladies, now, I want to know if you had the opportunity to be, because she's not like a showstopper, like walk in the room and show stop. Oh my God. No, she's not. But obviously there's something about her that he finds endearing, he loves or whatever. Because, he is dating her, but I don't know if he really likes women like that, because it's easier to maintain and they may deal with a little bit more. You think Beyonce is going to just let somebody just play in their face? Jay-Z? There's been rumors and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But he's not going to say out loud, I am going to mess around on Beyonce. A$AP Rocky is not going to say, I'm going to mess around on Rihanna. Yeah, I mean, the respect level is just, you're not that delusional. But he just says he wants kids, and I don't care who I get them from. I want to procreate all over. And you have a relationship. If anything, you would say that with the person you're currently with, but he didn't. So, of course, she's embarrassed. And what makes it even more embarrassing is because before she got with him, she was on this whole comedian tour about being a pick-me girl. I would never let a man treat me like this. I would never. So now, she is that woman. On the flip side, so now because Cam Newton's giving her the time of day, she is cooking, cleaning, all these things for him that he could actually pay for with a maid. So he doesn't really find those things like substantial because he can pay someone to do those things because he has the financial means. He is looking for something else when it comes to that because he can have someone else cook and clean. Because she keeps saying how much she cooks and she cleans for him and her bonus kids and her, all this kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure the other ones did the same thing. Well, the other young lady that he had with the 4 kids, they had 4 kids together. And she left because he didn't want to finally commit and marry. And he got a stripper pregnant on that beautiful young lady. A stripper? I mean, again, a stripper. Not knocking strippers. No, I'm not. I'm just saying, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. And I think Kia Proctor, that's the first young lady that he had all the kids with. She was a stripper. Sure, they had a kid. He adopted her kid. Then they had like 4 kids together. And he still didn't marry her. So it's almost like, if he didn't marry her, he ain't marrying nobody. Kind of like P. Diddy. If he ain't married Kim Porter, he ain't marrying nobody. So the rest, you can try. So she finally was like, I'm done. So anybody that comes after that, you really can be like, well, forget it. But she thinks she's different. So she thinks letting him do what he wants to do, even embarrassing her, letting it be like, oh, I'm with it, it's okay. No, you're not. Because he even admitted on the show that they had conversations and she's like, why would you embarrass me like that? And he goes, well, I'm going to do it, so don't take it to heart. Or don't, he's not denying it. He's just saying, I'm going to do it, so thank you for letting me do it, but don't let it ruin what we have. So he's almost trying to say, like, I'm going to do it, and don't be surprised, and if you don't like it, you kick rocks. Now, that goes also back to ladies. Should you get a man that loves you more than he loves you? Is it better to get a man, a husband, to love you more than you love him? Because no one, a professional woman at a big age, and Jasmine is a big age. I'm a big age. Big age meaning over 40, a professional, not requiring a man to prove to you that he wants to be with you in the future, meaning marriage, instead of having broken homes. Whether he can afford it or not is not the issue. We know he can afford it. So can Nick Cannon and everyone else. So what makes Cam different than Future? There is no difference. The only difference is Cam fits the image of almost like a thug, but in a suit, and he can play that role of, oh yeah, he can cross his fingers and, I'm not sure where he went to college at or whatever on a scholarship, but he's been in positions where he had football and he's had to be in rooms and had to conversate with people. He's not a rapper. This man has had to be in rooms with colleges and press and all that kind of stuff. So he knows how to talk to people. He's not, and he comes from a family. He has parents. I think his dad's a preacher, I believe. So I'm surprised he went down that path. of having all these kids. I'm sure he loves them all, but I just don't understand what's wrong with commitment. What is wrong? And then the women are not holding him accountable. Now, the reason these women are not holding him accountable because of all these pros that I was saying. Rich AF. Rich as F-U-C-K. Now, if you're going to do this, why would you get pregnant by a brokey? Now, I have two different lists on here. One is for a Cam Newton, and then down here it just says brokies, a lotto. Brokies. Yeah. Okay, we'll come down in a second. So, your child's going to have somewhere to live. Your child's going to be taken care of. And he's handsome. He's going to provide. He is going to give you great genetics. He's going to claim you, but I'll do the negatives in a second. And he comes from a great family. Kids are going to have grandparents. They're going to love him. Okay, great. Great. Now, the cons. You always weigh your cons. Because as a woman, I don't care who you are as a woman. Most women, especially if you are a professional woman who has any sense. We're not talking about some ghetto girl who got 5 baby daddies living on Section 8. And I'm not judging. I'm just giving people how we have people in different categories. Because it is what it is. We're in a separatist world. It is what it is. People have professions and careers are different because they've had experiences, they've made decisions that put them there, would normally not do the same thing that another person would do who's in a different situation. Now, what are some cons to having kids or a kid with, I'm going to go ahead and say Cam Newton. Because the same cons with a Cam Newton would not be the same cons with some would be, but not all, with the future. Okay? A serial cheater. He's going to cheat. He may not be like, F-U-B, I'm going to cheat on you. He's not going to do like that. He's going to be forthcoming. Are you going to be with it or not? So a Beyonce will be, nigga, well, I'm not. No, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like Jay-Z, the Lemonade album and all that, he was playing in her face, but it wasn't like this. It wasn't like a slap across the face. Cam is going to put it in your face. He's a serial cheater. He will never commit to you or anyone. He will never marry you. He will definitely embarrass you in public with his handsome smile. When he did with Corey Holcomb, they said that the comments were like, men feel like when men cross their legs and cross their fingers, that they sound intelligent. Well, no, she wasn't the only person I was sleeping with since we've been together. If I was his girlfriend, that's embarrassing. Okay, even if I allowed you to do it, why everybody gotta know? Everybody gotta know. But he's on the show, so you gotta kind of put it out there. The podcast ratings, and it caused a buzz. But that's embarrassing. Even she said she was embarrassed. He will claim a con is that he will also claim the relationship. It's also it's a pro and a con because yeah, he's claiming it, but he ain't being faithful. It's embarrassing. All right. He will definitely get a thirsty stripper pregnant. Dance all night long in your 7-inch heels till 5 in the morning, or get a check from Cam Newton for the 18 years and have your baby be your check. And you getting up there in age. So that's why you don't hear them fighting and bickering, because they getting what they want. They not worried about trying to be with him. They worried about getting a check from him. Okay, so Jazzy thinks she's different. Okay, since that didn't work out, because Jazzy's not a stripper. Jazzy's don't have a bunch of kids. All the women don't have any kids, except for the first one. They only have kids with him. Most men like that only want the women that don't have kids. Look at Nick Cannon. All these women have kids with just them. When they have more kids, it's with just them. Only one who was smart to get on about her life was Sierra. She's the queen. You know, she moved on quickly. But I do think it's admirable. I do, that he adopted Kia Proctor's daughter, I believe, her two daughters or whatever. I do think that's admirable. As I'm saying, he's a great man in that regard. He's going to take care of his children. He's definitely a great father in that regard. But I also know that he can be petty because he wanted the Bentley back that he gave her to haul around these 5 kids. Now, why would you? That's petty. Like, you're breaking up. Why would you want to take the car back that she needs for all these kids to go to school, run around, all this stuff? So that just shows me that you're petty, right? Again, that goes back to the financial strings. If she was already her own multi-millionaire, you think Rihanna would care about A$AP Rocky taking anything, a car back? No. They were in court about this little car. Anyway, he will always choose broke women because they need his money. That's how he's able to get his worth validated in a relationship with these women. Because he knows that if they don't like what he's doing, they can do what? Step. Because guess what? It'll be 10 in line waiting. Now, it may not be 10 Beyoncés or 10 Rihannas or 10 Kelly Rowlands. I'm just listening to people who are like got their own millions or whatever, and who are dime pieces and everything. They're not gonna be those kind of women, but it'll be enough to be where they're attractive enough, they're regular, but you know, they're celebrity, but they're attractive enough where it's like, okay, you know, the strippers, the Instagram models, so on and so forth. So, you know, but broke in the regard of they don't have $80 million like him. You know what I'm saying? They may have, they're not saying they're on the street broke, but just they don't have $80 million. Okay. Another con, he does not value relationships, and he does not value loyalty. Because these men, he will not be young and handsome and viral down there forever. I heard a comment, and I agree, and I don't think a lot of men understand this comment. They were like, is she crazy? I think it was Dr. Chantel Bryant was asked the question, would you pick the man with a smaller Peter who was a better husband, provider, mate, or the man with a larger Peter, but he would be the opposite of that and would be a horrible everything else? And she said she would take the man with the smaller Peter because that doesn't even make any sense to a woman who really wants true love. When you love somebody, that doesn't matter. And I agree with that, because that I have done that before. Believe it or not, I have done that before. And I probably, honestly, should have stayed with that person. Yep, because that is not going to sustain you for the rest of your relationship. I mean, yeah, it's great and all, but you got to think with this head, you know? So I think we as women, because once we're locked in with you guys as you know, relationships, and you show us you're locked in, we locked in. You know what I'm saying? We can work with you on stuff. We locked in. But I think that you guys are not locked into us. Because so many women, when you have money, are just throwing themselves. And, you know, that's why you got to find somebody who's not going to fall into all these cons. And that's why he chooses women who financially need him. If he found somebody who was his match, they're not going to put up with this. What else? All he wants is a bunch of kids. They was like, oh, you want any more kids? He's just like, I want more kids. And then he didn't even say with Jazzy. That's his current relationship, current girlfriend, mother of his most recent child, who's not even still an arm baby, he didn't even say it with her. He was just like, I want more kids. Whatever God brings me. Whatever God brings me. So it's like, okay, so with anybody? Or is that another stripper? Or if he ain't gonna be with Jazzy, who with? You know? So it doesn't really matter. And then honestly, he has a thug mentality in a suit. Now, and I have to make analogies to get my points across, I feel. Because it doesn't, if I don't say that, but then back it up with something else, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, he looks like a Russell Wilson. Like, you see him, you would think, oh, NFL player, you know, or LeBron James. He's like you know, he'd be a good family man. He has a, you know, NFL player, phenomenal, all his kids he'd be married. No, his mentality is something else. Where it came from, he's built like that, which is weird, I would think. You would think most men would be built like that, but everyone's different. But he is definitely a thug and a mentality in an expensive suit, and he doesn't look like somebody that would go that direction. And I'm shocked him and Nick Cannon really just surprised me. And basically what that means is he is for the streets. And the women are, I can't say they're for the streets, because these women actually probably thought, well, I'm the one, so now Jazzy thinks it's her turn. If I allow him to do these things, he'll have to choose me. The very same thing that she said, don't do. Don't be a pick-me. Well, now recently, he already said, I haven't been faithful. I'm not going to be faithful. And I'm still not going to pick you. So what does that make her? Because on her show, there's a tape going around now that people keep playing it. She's doing her comedy show, which at first I was agreeing with it at first. I was like, oh, okay, girl. You know, at first, because I didn't really know who she was, because she's not really that, she's popular, but I didn't really know who she was. She was on stage with a Cam Newton jersey on with his number in the back, like 8 months pregnant, doing her comedy special at some club. And then somebody asked her, she made a comment saying, you know, you getting pregnant by, you know, Cam Newton. I would never do that. She says, never. You would never get pregnant by, yeah, you feel differently when $100 million nigga put that pressure on you. And then everybody's, you know, clapping, And then somebody says, I would never do that. And she's like, never? You couldn't because you never would and you never had, baby. Meaning she's saying you can't even get what I got. This, what you got, can't get this. So basically, Cam is up here. I'm up here with Cam and you over there. So you can't even get somebody like that. Okay. So that is making people look at her like, girl, you're looking crazy. So then now she's looking down on other women. And then before she was like, don't be that kind of woman. So now that someone like Cam's giving her the chance to be with him, thank you, God. So now she's just like busting it wide open and being a pregnant single mom, because she's not married at what, 40? I don't even know how old she is, but like she's not a teenager. You would think at this age you would want to have your child in a home where it's a mother and a father. Even if it doesn't work out, you want to give it your best shot. You know, as a parent myself, you would want to give your child the most solid foundation as you possibly could, meaning start off in a marriage, at least try, but to go into it with somebody that you know doesn't want that, and you know you do want that, you're selling yourself short. So how are you going to sell your own self short, but then try to down other women? That's where it's causing the problems. And that big age. Now, to kind of bring this all together, let's talk about the brokies. Okay, we know he's not a brokey. He is far from it. He's not a brokey. Okay, let's just face it. Now, the brokies, Lotto says, the brokies. Okay, so look now, the pros to being a baby mama of a brokey. The pros, nothing. I'm gonna go ahead and say nothing. Now, the only pro that they would give to a woman would be out of, well, you know you 40, right? You know you 40, so I can at least give you a child. She's like, oh, I'm 40. Because I do know some people. They're not my friends, but I do know some people who are like, oh, I should go ahead and have this kid at 40 because no one else is, I ain't got no kids yet. So I should probably go ahead and have this kid at 45, 40. I got my career. I've been, trying to get my career together, but this man's going to give me a kid, but he won't give me a ring. So I'm going to just take your sperm. We're going to be together, and we're going to buy a house together. We're going to be in a relationship, but you can't give me a ring, but we're going to give me a kid. What? But I'm professional, and the big age, you 40, and your first kid is at 40, but this man can't give you a ring, but he can give you a kid. That's like saying I'll take the scraps. The scraps. Okay? The scraps. Okay. Now, what are the cons to having to being a baby mama of a brokey? So many cons. The con list is, oh God, the con list is as long as this book. Okay? The con list is just going on. So let's look at the pros. The only pro could be that someone like him could not get as many women as someone like Cam Newton. He will get women are not going to be throwing themselves at somebody like that. So he won't be having the options that Cam Newton would get. So it's like, he's a brokey. He'll get women, but it won't be the same type of women. And they may not get pregnant. They may just want some money or whatever, lower class women. So that could be the thing. Because if somebody's going to be a cheater, they can still cheat when they got $2 or they got $200 million. If that's part of their character, like their makeup, that's part of their makeup. Like, I'm going to use myself for that. Like, somebody asked me the other day, you're an attractive lady. I'm like, oh, thank you. Okay, thank you. I'm single, ready to mingle. You know what I'm saying? I'm not engaged anymore. I was engaged, not anymore. And somebody said, so you like being monogamous in relationships? I'm looking at him like, do you think I'm going to be with just every Tom, Dick, and Harry? No. And when I was on the podcast this weekend with J.R. Wisdom, we talked about that. If y'all check it out, it's coming out. I think he said about a week. You'll see it. I'll make sure to post it on my stuff. But we had a great conversation. Yeah, you can go out on multiple dates, thousands of dates. You don't have to do anything sexual, no physical, anything. You just go have a conversation, have a dinner, have a drink. You can do tea, water, or whatever. But you don't have to do anything. But that gets tiring and all that kind of stuff. So you gotta understand what is your goal when you do these things. Now, the women who are more attractive, which is why the young ladies that were here supposed to come, I sent them a questionnaire, and they were going to give me some serious tea. I had some of their stories, so I can't wait to have them on. Some of their experiences with the things that we're talking about. So I don't want to talk about I'm gonna go get any of their stuff because their stuff is just juicy. I even had them some wine and Pinot Grigio and everything. That's what they like to drink. Because I was excited for their conversation. So the thing is, people need to understand what you're looking for. And no, I can go out with a lot of men, but I don't like a lot of people, if that makes sense. And I don't know why people would think if you are attractive, you ain't got to do anything. And that's what J.R. Wisdom was saying on Saturday. He was like, facts. You know what I'm saying? So it's usually the women who are not as attractive that do everything. I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing all that. Now, when I get with somebody or my man my man. Of course. But in the dating aspect, I'm not going to do that. Like, if Cam Newton approached someone like me, I mean, I'm 50. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't, but I'm talking about back in my day. Back in my day, there's no way that I would be okay with, I don't care how much money you have, because we've all, if you're a woman who's in that type of caliber of life, you've had men, that's the kind of men you've had. Now, if you've never had men like that, and it's new to you, and you've never had that, yeah, you're mesmerized. You know, you're like, oh my God, I'm pretty sure the stripper and the other girl probably have had men like that because they were in the strip club, but, you know, it just kind of went a little further with him. Jazzy, nobody was really checking for her like that because she's more of an average-looking girl. She just has a great career, you know, and a net worth, you know, a real career, you know, in Hollywood. And I think that probably attracted him to her because he probably does get tired of flipping every bill. I mean, probably does. What do you think of, you know, that goes back to, everybody was talking about, what's his name, Kelsey, what's his name, the Taylor Swift's boyfriend. Everyone's saying now that he left that other girl, the black girl, he ain't got to pay for nothing being with the white girl. It was an interview saying, Kayla. Somebody said, Kayla, is he, I think his name is Travis Kelce. He wanted you to pay 50-50 for stuff. And she was like, do you think that I am going to pay 50-50 for anything? And then Cam and Mace brought it up. Well, girl, he didn't really upgrade it. And now he got a woman who's a billionaire. He don't probably pay for nothing. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Can Cam Newton get somebody like that don't need you for $1? That's a boss move right there. Get somebody who got their own billions, and then talk that junk. You think, I bet you $100 Taylor Swift will not get pregnant by that man before marriage? Ain't no way. And certain races will not do that. Certain races will not do that. Will not. Taylor Swift will not be pregnant by that man prior to marriage. Will not. She will not. Nope. And that is a fact. That is a fact. And that is very stereotypical. But it is. It is. Why do you think Future continues to get these women pregnant? I mean, they keep doing it. Why would they not keep doing it? You know, Sierra people keep saying, like, what was she thinking? She thought she could change because she knows you can make decisions and realize, you know what? Okay, that probably wasn't where I need to be doing. Let me backtrack and pivot over here. We've all done that. It's how far do you let it go? She realized very quickly, okay, yeah, okay, nope, But yeah, mark my words. Taylor Swift will not be pregnant before she's married. Not just a ring, living together, married. Down the aisle, and then married, and then a baby. They don't do that. It's almost like a lack of disrespect. So it's almost like we will give, we meaning black women, I'm part of that as well. I'm a black woman. You know, we give you our bodies, give you these kids, but then it's almost like not really appreciated. So why is that? Why can't we get the same respect as a white woman? Why can't you guys marry? Why is no one's worthy of marrying Cam Newton? No one's worthy of the women you're with. No, you ain't found nobody who's worth marrying. Kia Proctor wasn't worth marrying. She's a beautiful girl, raised all of these beautiful children. Deion Sanders, Tracy Edmonds, and well, the ex-wife was crazy, they said, but Tracy Edmonds wasn't worth marrying after all this time. She held you down. And that's a strong woman right there. Tracy Edmonds, that's a good one. She's a top one. I'm just giving examples of women who can hold their own. And, you know, I just think some women just, some men don't like that because it's intimidating. And then some people want someone that needs them solely, but it's like they want it, but they don't want it like all the time. You know, and I think that's why someone like Cam continues to stray. Right? So what do y'all think about that? You know, do y'all think that it is normal? Do you think someone like Jazz, who feels like it's okay to let her man continue to do him, she gonna always be there, or is she gonna just be stuck with a couple babies? Because now people are saying she's not even getting money like that from him. They're going, oh, because, you know, she's not even really like demanding money. She's just like, oh, you know, go ahead, yeah, you know, because she feels like I have him now, but I'm going to show him I don't need his money because I have a little bit of money. Okay, but that's going to get old to keep cooking and cleaning, feeling that she's up at 4 a.m. every day cooking for him and these other bonus kids. He get a maid for that. That's not going to impress him. A man like that's not going to be impressed because you can cook and clean and make some grits in the morning because he can pay somebody for that. He's looking for something else. I don't think he even knows what he's looking for.
Join hundreds of drivers who've chosen Pinnacle Point DUI and driving schools for driving education. We don't just teach you to drive, we provide skills and confidence to navigate the road ahead. Our highly trained certified instructors also teach classes in defensive driving, DUI risk reduction, and other court-ordered classes, some offered remotely. Whether beginner or refresher classes, we meet the needs of each student with flexible hours. Visit our website for a location nearest you.
So, again, you guys reach out to me and let me know what you guys think of today's topic about being a baby mama by choice, because you have a choice, at a big age of 40, full grown, with a whole career, and you are a choice. By someone who is rich and a brokey. I don't understand the brokey part. I can understand the rich part, but definitely a brokey part. All right? That's our show for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Peace.